I guess that's enough tech news for one show. Let's turn back to geopolitics, to what's happening in Gaza. Last week, Joe Biden drew a red line for Israel. He said, do not invade Rafah. For good measure, he also paused a military shipment. He withheld a few bombs. Many thought it signaled a change in attitude. Maybe Joe Biden would stop aiding Israel's ruthless war. Well, think again. Biden is pushing another military package for Israel. It's worth almost $1 billion. The US government has already notified the Congress. Pretty soon it will be approved. Now, this package has three main items: tank munitions worth $700 million, tactical vehicles worth $500 million, and mortar rounds worth $60 million. American officials say it's not an immediate shipment, it's a long-term commitment, meaning that these items will be delivered over many years. But what about the timing? Last Wednesday, Biden announced that he was pausing one military shipment. Exactly 1 week later, he does this. So what should the world make of it? Is Biden supporting Israel's war, or is he not? His national security advisor tried to explain the president's position. This is what he said.
We do not believe what is happening in Gaza is a genocide. We have been firmly on record rejecting that proposition. We have paused the shipment of 2,000-pound bombs because we do not believe they should be dropped in densely populated cities.
How about that? Dropping bombs on cities is not okay, but somehow firing from tanks is totally fine. Is that what Washington is saying? As we speak, Israeli tanks are pushing deeper into Rafah. They've reached the residential area, so the locals are fleeing. Around 450,000 Gazans have fled Rafah. Many more live in the city's north. So catastrophe is imminent. Yet what does Joe Biden do? Give more weapons to Israel. It shows you his double standards. Last week, the US government published an important report. It probed Israel's use of American weapons. And what did the report find? That the use was, quote-unquote, inconsistent with international law. And the wording is pretty interesting. You either follow the law or you don't. How can it be inconsistent? I presume that means Israel did not follow the law. Yet Biden is giving more weapons. What does that tell you? His attitude has not changed. Pausing that one shipment was not about holding Israel back. It was about appeasing his vote bank. We saw the college protests over the last few weeks that forced Biden to act. But now he's gone back to default. Because the protests are scaling down. It's graduation season in the US, in American colleges. Students are busy celebrating and packing up. We've seen some protests during the graduation events, but overall the tempo is down. In some colleges, the encampments have also been taken down. Plus, Joe Biden is under immense pressure from his rivals. Jewish groups have criticized his move. So have the Republicans. They're pushing a new law that would force Biden to unfreeze the arms shipment, to basically give Israel more bombs. Biden has said that he will veto such a bill. But it tells you how much pressure the president is under. The question is, how will his flip-flops affect the war in Gaza? Will they change Israel's strategy? Well, they haven't so far. Israel continues to pound Rafah with airstrikes. They claim around 80 Hamas targets were hit. The ground operations also continue. Both Israel and Hamas have released footage of the urban warfare. It's almost like a video game. Take a look at this. To make matters worse, aid is drying out. The Rafah crossing has been shut, so most of the aid is coming from the north, but the journey is dangerous. Let me show you pictures from the West Bank. Aid trucks were ready to head out, but Israeli protesters blocked them. They threw out food packets meant for Gazans. Elsewhere in the West Bank, food trucks were destroyed in a fire. It is still not clear what caused the fire. The US has an opinion on this too. They say the aid shipments were not enough. And honestly, it sums up their policy. The Americans keep drawing red lines for Israel. Do not attack Rafah. Do not stop the aid. Do not invade without a plan. Do not target civilians. But in the end, they keep sending weapons. I know Israel is pulling the trigger, but Joe Biden too is equally complicit.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.